What is the Matrix?
Your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. Now, I'm doing this video in this format because I was attempting to do a video on my phone, but I was constantly being interrupted. Then I had to do the video again, and eventually I was able to do the video without any interruption, except my phone became hot and it was overheating, which again just lets me know that they're again hacking into my phone because it did not want me to do the video which I was doing. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay, there's always a way. They may try to prevent you and from doing certain things, but sometimes you can find other ways to do it. Right. So I was doing the video speaking about how I woke up this morning. I heard my phone go off, was a notification on my phone. And I woke up, it was 11:33. Now, the notification had just went off, so I didn't really think anything of it. Went to make breakfast, came back, sat down at breakfast, what have you. And I said, okay, let me see what the notification was about. So it was a text message I got from my daughter's classmate, her mother, my daughter's classmate mother, right? Because we had donated a computer to her classmate. So I sent her some links to a desk on Amazon, right? And a monitor on Amazon that she would need to get, right? She definitely needs the monitor. She didn't have a desk, that's fine. And then I had sent her a video on how to set up a PC. Now, what this video shows you is when you're plugging in the monitor in the back of the computer, particularly a computer with a dedicated graphics card, that you need to plug it into the graphics card and not the video outputs on the motherboard, in the back of the motherboard, in the back of the computer. All right. So she texted me at 11:32 a.m. The number 32. Remember yesterday the videos, the NY Predator Department vehicles number 32. We started seeing a lot of vehicles last bit number 32 also. Right. So I remember I got up at 11:33. Now immediately as I got up, the New York Predator Department began using their sirens. Okay, that was it. Right. So I didn't think anything of it. When I woke up at the time, I just like, okay, it's normal. I'm on the remote neural monitoring. This is what they, constantly do, right? I mean, relative to me going to bed last night, which was relatively quiet, they were using their sirens, but not as frequent and very, very low. This morning when I woke up, it was at you would say your normal volume level, right? Which is loud, but it was very brief, right? So when I went to look at the text, I saw that she had put a heart emoji. She responded with a heart emoji. So I'm thinking, okay, she might have had issues, plugging in the monitor to something or to the TV, or if she ordered the monitor because she picked up the computer on Thursday, or if I remember correctly. So I'm thinking that maybe she tried to plug in the HDMI cable into the back of the motherboard where you have the USB out and the video out, stuff like that, right? And the audio out, right? And so she might have looked at the video and then figured out, okay, I need to plug it into the graphics card and not the motherboard. So she got picture, right? Or video, all right? Now she got an image, right? But anyhow, so then I looked at the time and I'm like, oh, that was like a minute before I got up, right? At 11:32 a.m. So I was like, okay, that's why the sirens. That's why. So like I said, they'll always use people, right? Which is again, very common in what they do trying to get false witness, people to lie, or all these sort of things, what have you. Which is, I don't really pay too much attention to it, but I'm aware of what it is that they do and how they do it. So anyhow, went back to eating my breakfast, was looking at a video on YouTube. Okay, so let me pull up my browser so you guys can see what I'm seeing. And I just want to thank them so much because, again, them hacking into my phone so that I wouldn't do my video, causing my phone to overheat, which has never really happened in the home before. Usually outside when I'm recording and they're trying to prevent me from recording certain things, my phone will start overheating, right? And coincidentally, when I woke up this morning, I had to, instead of using because I have my biometrics to get into my phone, and I didn't restart my phone last night. My phone don't do any updates on its own. So and I didn't restart it. So my phone should not have defaulted to where I have to put in my PIN, right? But that's what happened. And I figured that something was strange. So again, now I'm realizing what was happening, that, they probably hacked into my phone last night, causing me to put in my PIN, right? For whatever reason. But like I said, there's a bigger picture here, which I'm going to get into, right? So, what they were doing as I was watching this video, right? New York Police Department. In the video, this video is the real reason behind the rise of single black parents, shocking facts. And it goes through a whole list of things, and it talks about how there are those who don't want black people to have healthy, stable families, right? And so when the narrator said that, the New York Police Department, as he was saying that, using their sirens, which again, letting you know how they're using cursive persuasion programs, cognitive warfare, to manipulate black people, particularly using it to break their families apart and to cause separation and to cause a gender war between black men and black women, right? Like I said, thank the ancestors, thank my ancestors who lives within me, who will always guide me and who I always rest upon in order to give me the courage, the insight, the foresight to do what it is that I'm doing, which is my purpose, which is to expose this, to keep speaking the truth until we as black people come to a better understanding, instead of just believing things, that we know things and we understand things in the reality of things. As instead of these mythological fantasy type of things that we believe in, whether it be religion, whether it be the idea of there's something better out there, right? Which is what they do to black women, always looking for better, right? So better relationship, better husband, better man, what have you, better girlfriend if they're, if they have that alternative lifestyle, it's always better, right? And again, they keep dangling the psychological carrot in front of their minds, right? So they keep believing it, right? So anyhow, so with all of that, right? And it dawned on me, I'm just like, yeah, this is what they do. They glorify being single parents, right? They glorify, even though the reality is different. Even though the reality is majoritively negative outcomes. Negative outcomes on their health, physical health, negative outcomes on their mental health, right? Negative financial outcomes, right? Negative mental health outcomes, the highest rate of clinically diagnosed depression within black single mothers. That leads to other serious mental illnesses, right? So they don't want to tell you these things, right? The white liberals, the churches, the pastors in the churches are vested, they're invested in telling you lies to manipulate you, to control you, to break up your family, right? To destroy the relationship between the men in your group, because they're using you, black women, as their income sources, as their profit-driven sources, right? But y'all don't want to listen, okay? So interestingly, you go to this website called parents.com, right? And there are a lot of articles you see out there about the joy of being a single black mother, but you don't see any articles of the joy of being a single white mother, right? Or white mothers, white single women becoming parent by choice and finding fulfillment in that. You don't read articles about single Hispanic women be, glorifying single parenthood and finding fulfillment in that. You don't find articles about single Asian women being single parent by choice and finding fulfillment in that. You don't find articles about single Arab women being single by choice and finding fulfillment in that. You don't find articles about single Hispanic women becoming single parent by choice and finding fulfillment in that. You will only find articles, the vast majority of articles on being single mothers, right, referring to black women and how it is fulfilling, it is joyful, they're happy, all this other lies. But when you look at the statistics, okay, and again, this is why, I love Kevin Samuels for this, and also Media Man, which I talk about, who is now taking up that mantle of just bringing you the truth, right? Bringing you the truth by showing you the truth. Not just saying things that you want to hear, not just saying things to make you feel good, right? Because it doesn't make you better. It just creates more of a delusion in your mind, right? So this is from Sage Pub, right? This is the Journal of Black Psychology, right? Where it says black women are the most underrated group of are among the most underrated groups for depression in the United States. Few studies have addressed perception of help seeking for depression amongst black women. In the study, we interviewed 30 black women and explored the help seeking process for depression, vice versa, social constructivism, intersectionality theory, and strong black woman role. A gender and radical role consistent of adhering to strength through independence, emotional regulation, and caretaking. Right? So you guys can go read up on this, right? Okay? It says there are different estimates of the prevalence of depression amongst black women in the United States. But research have consistently found that depression is most likely to be chronic, severe, and immobilizing for black women compared to their white counterparts. Furthermore, black women are less likely to seek or receive adequate mental health treatment. All right, so go read about this stuff, man. And often delay seeking treatment until symptoms are severe. Moreover, when black women do seek treatment, they are less likely to receive an adequate amount of treatment, in part because providers detect their depression less often and misdiagnose their depression as psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia. Okay? So I want you to understand how they're manipulating black women, and because they are women and because they are expert at human psychology, be it men or women, they understand how easy it is to manipulate black women. One, because the majority of us black people are working class, the working poor, and are in poverty. Poverty is one of the biggest contributor, I would say probably the biggest contributor to crime, to negative mental health outcomes, right? To not being able to move up the economic social ladder, right? Because in America, when it comes to black people, we live in a caste system, masquerading itself as a class system, right? So we have to understand that. So not only when they glorify this single motherhood bullshit, but they get black women to instill in their daughters, in their, hold on a sec here. All right. So again, to instill this idea that, oh, you want to have a child, go ahead. Not talking to them about marriage, not talking to them about the reality of being a single parent as a woman, as a black woman, the health disparities, the mental health disparities, right? The economic disparities, okay? The negative outcome that will happen to their child or to their children, right? And, there's a few going to be like, well, they're all black women out there raising kids and their kids are doing well. Those are unicorns, right? Or what we call outliners. Those are the very few, right? If 80% of black children born to who are living in single, I shouldn't say born, but who are living in a single parent household, which the only parent in the household is the mother, 80% of those children have negative outcomes in life. Right? So what are you going to talk about? The 10% out of the 80% that may be doing well? And that is the individualistic mindset and the exclusive mindset of a lot of black women, because they're not looking at the overall totality. They may look at their anecdotal experience, the people around them. And just because a few may be doing the job, an adequate job, or even an above adequate job, or a great job, right? You have the vast majority who those children will have negative outcomes later on in life. We talk about behavioral issues, learning issues, emotional issues, right? Poverty, all these things, the environment in which they're being raised in, both inside the home and outside. Okay? The lack of resources, right? The lack of technology, such as having a computer, not a tablet, but a computer that they can actually do research, that they can actually write papers on. You know what I'm saying? Those things are important. Okay? So a lot of black women are not even concerned about those things, right? Because of that mental health issues that they face. The depression. And what we know about people who are depressed, if they don't get the help that they need, they will engage in activities that are going to be detrimental. Right? So whether it be having multiple sexual partners, right? Whether it be alcoholism, drinking alcohol, drug dependency, getting into using drugs to make them feel good, feel better, to not have to deal with the stress. So when I talk about when you have these people on social media who love to talk about black men and black women, right, without looking externally, but they will always seek to blame each other. And though, yes, you should lay some of the blame at their feet, most definitely. But like I said, 85% of the blame go to white supremacy, go to these white feminist liberals who are using and manipulating our women more than they are using and manipulating the men, because they understand that the men has gotten a lot more smarter in realizing what is going on. Right? But because, again, women don't even understand their own psychology, except for how they feel, who they like, what clothes they like. They like all luxury stuff, and you're making $40,000 a year, and you're taking out loans to go see Beyonce, right? Or to buy a bag costing $1,000 or $2,000, because you whether it be $800 pair of shoes or what have you, because you want to wear red bottoms. So they understand how women think, right? How emotional women get. And so they use it to their advantage to destroy black women, to destroy their relationship with black men, to destroy their relationship with their children. to create highly dysfunctional black men and black women. But first, you must start with the children. So if you're raising children in dysfunction because of your dysfunctionality, they're going to be dysfunctional. And they're going to grow up to be dysfunctional young black men and women, and we're going to repeat the cycle. Right? And then they talk about, oh, we got to break curses. It's not curses, it's a programming. All right? Everything is not about why curses are European ideas. They are European mindset. Right? When our ancestors had to treat a sick person, they didn't pray. They didn't pray. They look at nature. They look at they observe how the person behaved. They observe their symptoms, right? Trial and error. When we talk about Imhotep, the world's first multi-genius, when we look and we see through archaeological evidence and through written evidence that ancient Kemetic people, black people, were practicing dentistry, were practicing eye surgery, brain surgery, right? They had prosthetics, wooden feet. These things are archaeological evidence that we can find. Right? They didn't say to each other, go pray about it. They didn't do that. Right? They thought things in a psychological, scientific, chemical, archaeological, agricultural ways in terms of developing these things to better human beings, to better themselves. But we today have this belief mindset, while our enemies are using science, using psychology, using technology to manipulate us, to program us. Okay? And then, again, using our women. Using our women. Right? But, when I say that, I understand that they use us men too. Right? But if you look at the black population today, particularly here in America, it is our women who have totally gone off the rails. Because they have yet to have a level of consciousness, a level of self-awareness, the ability to self-correct has been deleted from their minds. So no one can tell them anything, particularly no black man or black woman can tell them anything that is sensible, that is positively constructive in any shape or form. But then I said, you go and you look at the statistics and you'll see who is having the worst outcomes. Okay? So here from the, this is maternal mental health, right? Black women, birth and people, and maternal mental health fact sheet, right? You can download the PDF and read about it. Because black women are 2 to 3 times more likely than white women to die because of adverse maternal mental health effects, right? They're not telling you this stuff. They keep feeding you bullshit, and you keep believing it. The pastors are not talking to you about this stuff, seeking mental profession, right? They want you to pay them money so they can advise you spiritually, religiously, right? Then no one is even talking about the STD high rate of infection and transmission within the black community, particularly within young black boys and girls, and also the highest group of women who transmit and contract STDs, and that's black women, right? The highest rate of children being born with congenital STDs are born to black women. Okay? So listen here. Let's go here. Here you go. All right. Now this is socioeconomic status. Did I post it? Is it this? Might be this one, right? The variations of pattern of racial and ethnic disparities in primary and secondary syphilis diagnosis rate among heterosexual active women by reason and age group in the United States. See, they'll keep lying to you about black men, right? But they're not telling you that black men are the highest group of men in America that uses contraception, condoms, right? They're not telling you that. They're not telling you that black men are more black men are the most married between black men and black women, right? Black women file for divorce 70% of the time, actually 80% of the time. Overall, women file for divorce 70% of the time, but in the black community, it's the women that file for divorce 80% of the time. Okay. So when we talk about the breakup of families, it is the women who are breaking up the families. Okay? Now, when it comes to gay men, black men have the highest rate of HIV infection, right? But check this out. Out of all group of people in America, in 2022 to 2023, black people, black men and black women, accounted for half of all HIV infection in the United States. Right? Why is that not making national news? Why is it that every single year, black men and black women have the highest rate of STD transmission and infection, and yet the CDC don't think of that as an epidemic, as a problem that needs to be fixed? Right? No. Because they are setting us up. They're weaponizing STD against us and us against each other. They're weaponizing bad food against us. Right? When 4 out of 5 black women in the black community, in black America, are overweight or obese. And then they'll push amongst black women saying, well, that BMI is wrong because I have big bones or what have you and such and such. No, you're fat. Stop making excuses. Right? I praise my black sisters who realize that they've been lied to, and are working out to improve their health, their physical health, as well as their attractiveness. Look at Lizzo. Talk about, glorifying big women, right? But within the past year and a half, what has she been doing? Right? She's been working out. She's been losing weight. Okay? When I watch these videos of these black women complaining that there's no men when they go out to these, dating mixers or what have you, where you go and, you spend 5 minutes talking to a female or male or have stuff. The vast majority of those women there are fat. Yes, they're fat. They're overweight. And black men are saying, no, you want me to be tall. You want me to have a 6-pack. You want me to work out, right? You want me to have all of this, but you are bringing yourself like this to me. Overweight, fat, unhealthy mindset, unhealthy body, attitude, no femininity. But we are supposed to accept that. And black men are saying no. And I can't blame us. Because society, particularly white liberals, white conservative, keep saying those among the elite circles and the corporations, they're all working together. They are all working together. They understand that there's an ideological divide within the lower classes of people. Right? But at the top, with the elite, the one thing they have in common, and they will always put above everything else, is their ideology of white superiority. You must understand. All right. So anyway, before I go, so I got my kids, their mother Pam, had to go to a funeral today. So she had told me about the funeral, what have you, and I said, okay, it's not my weekend for the kids. So why are you telling me? But apparently, I guess she wants to go out and using the funeral as part of the excuse to go out, what have you. So yesterday she asked me for the keys. I said, okay, fine. I gave her the keys. And so then I asked her, I said, well, what time is the funeral, right? She tells me 5 o'clock. I said, 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, yeah. And then she goes, oh, it's not really a funeral. It's like a wake. Okay. And it's in Jersey. I said, all right, fine, whatever. So I said to her, okay, I said, you know what? I'll come watch the kids. I'll leave. I said, what time are you coming back? She's like, I don't know. It's always, I don't know. It's like, so I said, give me a time. If it's the wake is at 5, give me a time. I might be back by 11 or 12. I'm like, okay, fine. The latest I'll stay is 11, but I'm leaving. So you need to be here, right? You need to get back in time, right? So then she texted me today saying that that Ethan, our son, got invited to a party. I said, okay, I'm like, so she needs me to be there by 3 o'clock. I said, I wasn't planning on coming there by 3 o'clock. I said, it's coming by 3:30 the latest. That way, you'll have enough time. But the fact that you're telling me now Ethan was invited to a party and blah, 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 and you want me to come early and all this stuff, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Okay? I am not doing that. Because again, they will lie, they will conspire. And like I said, there's no need to just be honest and be truthful. But they can't. And I say they, I mean she can't. Okay? And a lot of women do this. Right? They can't be honest with us. Okay? And when it comes to honesty, let's just say they'll choose when to be honest and when not to be honest. Okay? So yeah. But anyhow, so I said I'll be there at 3:30. Because I'm like, well, what time is the party? Do Ethan need to be at the party at 3 o'clock? You know what I'm saying? Because he can go after I get there. I'll be there at 3:30. Right? And he's taking an Uber. So it's not as if he's taking public transportation to go wherever. And so anyhow. So I asked her, I said, well, what time is the party over? She didn't respond. Right? So I sent her the question mark again. Because I said, what time is the party over? Question mark. What time is the party ending? Question mark. Took her a while to respond. It took her a while. And then I sent her the question mark again. And then she responded. She says, I will ask, this is her friend Judy. I'm guessing 7 or 8. Right? So I said to her, ask and let me know. Right? The thing I keep telling her, that when you tell Ethan he can go hang out with his friends, you need to set a time in which he needs to come back. Right? But she's not doing that. Okay? When I do it, she gets upset about it. Why do he have to? Because he has to. If we don't set rules and regulations for our children, then they're going to do whatever. And that's the problem with single mothers. Is that they let this, particularly their male children, just go out, hang out all night, or have you. I mean, my first son, when he was 14 years old, his mother had him take the train at 1 o'clock at night all the way from Brooklyn to the Bronx. Okay? Why? Because we had went to the pool, took him to the pool. He got upset because he wouldn't listen. He decides that he is going to leave. Right? Now, I drove to the pool. Right? And apparently he knew his way back. Okay? Back home. So he left upset. Okay? Because again, they raise their children to disrespect their fathers. But when they have issues with the children disrespecting them, they call the fathers to talk to their children. But it's okay to have their children disrespect us as fathers. So she tells him after he got home, all right, because I had to take the kids back, Ethan and Alyssa, back to their mother. And on my way back home, I was a little tired too. So I called to make sure that he was home. My sister was like, yes, he's home. And I was like, okay, I'll be home later. I just got to rest. Getting ready to come home, I'm calling. I called my sister. I said, okay, I'm on my way home. She's like, Bryce is not here. I'm like, what you mean he's not here? He's not here. He left. I said, what you mean he left? You let him walk out of the house? He's 14 years old, and you let a 14-year-old walk out of the house at 1 o'clock at night. Or well, his mother told me he could come. And I'm like, wow. But I want you to, his mother took offense the fact that he was there with my family, but I wasn't there. Meanwhile, she would leave him at her mother's house and be gone all weekend. Right? That is how they think. That is how they've been conditioned to operate. And the disrespect that they have for us as black men while dating other black men. Okay? I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? So, and again, in both of those relationships, I didn't break up the relationship. They did. Okay, so what does that say? But anyhow, I got to get ready to go. I just wanted to do this video because, like I said, when the New York Predator Department, they'll always tell me that it is the white racists, the white supremacists on the police force within the U.S. government, within state government, local government, who have created programs to destroy black people, to destroy our family, to destroy our relationship with each other, to destroy the minds of our women, and eventually the minds of our children, particularly our male children. Okay? All right, so talk to you guys on the next video.